Hi Virgo, here is a general look at your solar chart for February 2016. Now actually you've got a lot going for you at the moment, Virgo, so make hay while the sun shines. Just this month you've got chores, niggly details, the to-do list, and getting organized, getting your act together, and maybe working with or sourcing service providers. Maybe it's around health for some of you, your own or somebody else's. But your ruling planet and Venus are in an area which is quite playful. It's kind of positive, enthusiastic. It has you playing around with ideas, and those creative juices could be flowing. You're more articulate. You could be beating the drum on something. You could be I don't know, there could be admiring glances coming your way for some of you, because this is not only the house of fun and creativity, it's also the house of romance as well. So that's a nice place to have Mercury, and it has a lightness to it. But at the same time, you have Venus there. And Venus is really oiling the wheels around the love life for some of you, or meaning that you can have more harmonious connections with children, young people. This is a good energy to help you feel more settled, maybe with young people, children, or you get more of a feeling of teaming up with it's either young people, children, or a romantic partner, or just a partner, and you're into each other, whether that's through family or whether that's romance, or whether it could even be in a business sense, in a professional sense. Whatever it is, it oils the wheels, and it's a nice place to have Mercury and Venus for you. And it's also about leisure and activities, having more access to those, and as I say, putting you in touch more with your own inner child, but your own creativity as well. And then they both move. Mercury moves on the 14th, and Venus moves out of there on the 17th into a more kind of, okay, let's roll up our sleeves and tackle the job. So they both roll on into the area where the sun was at the start of the month that I said, the chores, the to-do list. They both go into there, but you feel supported. Again, you feel this kind of humor, support, the tendency for that to be there, whistling whilst you work, whilst you're getting on with things, whether it's around health, whether it's around the job, whether it's service providers, whether it's you providing a service, whatever it is, you do feel this assistance there, or somebody feels the assistance coming from you as well. You could even meet up with somebody who is assisting you for the first time, either for work that has to be done, or indeed health matters, exercise, alternative remedies, or conventional health, that you really click with, that you really feel, okay, we can do business together, us two, or even more. Now Mars is in a really good place for you, children of Mercury, and Mars is in a transit of your solar communications sector, accelerating your mental processes, firing up the way you express yourself. But it's kind of up your street, because it's all about getting to know people, places, different routines, different concepts, different jargon, different ways to do things, and it's about travel as well. So it could be more comings and goings. You find yourself very much in that stream of moving around, information exchange. It might not be both. It might be more information exchange. Maybe you're doing more on the internet. Maybe you're just, if you lead a very, very quiet life, maybe for you, meeting just one more person a week is like really accelerating things. So it's all relative, everything is. So that's where Mars is, but Mars is going to be there for a long time. I mean, Mars has been there since just in the first week of January, and will be there until early March, then comes out for a bit, and then goes back in again for another long stint, and is in there until Well, the whole transit between this area of yours and your home area, where there's going to be lots more hustle and bustle regarding the home base or point on the map or location, that kind of thing, is going to be going on between now and September. So you're going to be getting lots of hustle and bustle on the home base in March, and to do with family as well. Lots more, shall I say, because I mean, how long's a piece of string? So if somebody says lots, I mean, what do they mean? You know, if somebody says big, I mean, what do they mean? So, you know, I mean, more for you. So Mars here is putting you on a bit of a learning curve at the moment, and sometimes you could feel that things are going a bit fast, or there's such a lot of information coming at you, or you need to juggle such a lot of things and facts and figures and paperwork and people and places and new concepts and whatever it is. So just put your feet up, you know, fold your arms and say, I'm not doing any more for a bit. You know, just give your brain a rest and do something that takes you out of your mind. And in general, there could be more correspondence flying around, more phone calls, more Skypes, more whatever. Promotions, negotiations going on as well. It could be that. So yeah, and you just need to balance that all out. Now, from the 19th, you'll benefit more from the support and contribution of another in close relationship, because the sun will move, and you will very likely get that. You could be the support for somebody else. You could be consulting with somebody. Somebody could be consulting with you. It could be like that as well. Now, Saturn is in Sagittarius, and this is right down at the root of your chart. This is until late 2017. This is the time to gradually build a new beginning. I mean, this is an important transit for you, Virgos, because this is the time for you to build new foundations, I should have said, and build upon the change or whatever, or build upon or change aspects, tweak aspects, rethink, but build upon aspects of what was begun 7 years ago, right? Or even go back further, 14 years ago. So it's roughly, give or take, but within a few months of 7 or 14. So this time around, the stress testing of Saturn may challenge you to have to take responsibility for past decisions, past setups, past arrangements, dust swept under the carpet, literally the carpet, the floor, the ceiling, the walls. You know, it could be a bit like that. It could be on a more emotional level, dust swept under the carpet from the past. So therapeutic work is good here, and triggers inner change, and you could take a sort of body-centered approach through healthy practices for some of you. You may have to put more into family obligations at this time, or work harder at getting along with others in a community or a neighborhood. And I say harder, what I mean is you have to meet a challenge or two, maybe sometimes, and just be more consistent with that community or neighborhood, and or always, you know, separating the wheat from the chaff as well. Something may feel lacking around you, something that, you know, you compare to another situation could feel lacking around you. But this is the time to take decisions about the domestic setup, family matters, and tying up loose ends from the past. This is very much the time to be doing that. And this is also when you can get things more how you'd like them to be, through steady, consistent, persevering effort. You Virgos born the 28th of August to the 4th of September, with from 13 to 17 degrees rising, going to feel that energy the most. Jupiter is now in your sign. Well, this comes around once every 12 years. So this is very much a year of expansion for you, or it's in your sign until September anyway. And this means it's time for a real growth spurt in your life. It's time for you to be taking off, maybe in several new directions, and it'll be up to you to be guided by what your gut feeling feels is right for you. And you're going to be on quite a learning curve, I would say. And so this is your chance to get the bigger picture, to join up the dots. Don't overlook important little details. Now, I know you're supposed to be the sign of the detail, but we're all subject to this. So, and thinking things through, because the thing about Jupiter is, even though it's sort of tends towards good fortune, they say in the old astrology, although I would say it's the learning through doing planet, which tends to hold a lot of potential. Me being a cynical old astrologer, but it's not too hot on really carefully looking at the knotty details, because it doesn't want to let mere details get in its way. So this is the grand overview. This is the great sweep across the canvas. And actually we need those moments sometime in our lives. And it has a lot of positivity with it, this one for you, Virgo. So those of you born the 10th to the 15th of September, or with 18 to 23 degrees rising, you're going to feel this energy the most this month. Of course, it's across the whole sign as well, but you guys will feel it the most. And then Neptune. Neptune is also a strong transit for you in your opposite sign. So very much you being maybe suffering on behalf of others, being a bit of a martyr on behalf of others, being the prop that holds up others. No, naughty, smack on the back of the wrist. You have to find a way of fulfilling your own purpose, your own, enjoying your own life. Because you've got to laugh really sometimes. I mean, it's just all so ridiculous, and put those boundaries down, because the tendency is to be all things for all people at this time. And just careful you don't do that. The younger ones of you who haven't got so much experience, maybe you understand that, don't understand that yet, but you'll come to it. So just try to find that nice, balanced, aligned, if possible, arrangement. And don't get distracted by somebody else's stuff too much, okay? Even though you've got an emotional pull to it. We've all got the right to make our own mistakes, and that's how we learn in our lives. So you don't have to be sort of standing ready to catch people when they're going to fall, because sometimes they just have to crash down and fall. You have your life to live. Everybody else's is taken. So you Virgos born 29th of August to the 1st of September, sorry about the lecture, or with the 7th to the 10th degrees of Virgo rising, you're going to feel that energy the most. And you will be benefiting from really, there is a possibility at this time that you could find somebody coming across your path in your life that you absolutely do know and you feel very, very close to, even before you've ever said hello. So I was just telling the story on it when I was doing another star sign about how I was in a big hall once, many years ago, with lots of people doing therapies and readings and an alternative sort of spiritual fair, and somebody walked in and sat down and on the other side of the room at her stall, and I immediately just got out, walked across. I don't know what made me do it, and I said to her, should we know each other? Which is a bit of a nutty thing to say, but I absolutely did feel I knew her, and that she would not be put off by that strange introduction. And she just looked back at me and she said, I think we should, yes. So, and we've been firm friends ever since, over many, 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 many years. So this is the thing with Neptune, where Neptune is, so watch that space. Now, just very quickly, Saturn is in aspect to Uranus. This is a really good one. It's not, it could, you've got to work steadily within a serious parameter of change. Or put it the other way around, within the parameter of something quite traditional, some traditional setup, you've got to find ways of doing it differently. And I use the analogy of saying, okay, your diet, maybe you have to change your diet. You go all raw for like 3 months or something. So you have to put away all your pots and pans and roasting tins and everything if you have them. And you've got to learn how to do this thing which you know is your best bet for getting in tip-top condition. And this is bringing in something very progressive and future-orientated and new and unconventional into quite an ordinary sort of domestic kitchen sort of setup, right? But it can be in different sorts of ways. So it's you working steadily on improvements or changes to make a project or an aspiration or a goal or a cherished dream come true, because this one can really help with them coming true, all right? And then, yeah, just a very, very quick one. Early month in February, you're going to get Mercury and Pluto over, Mercury and Venus over Pluto. So conversations could take on quite a serious slant there, or maybe it's not heavy serious, maybe it's like emotional serious, and maybe that sways your feeling, touches your feelings, or maybe you are the one that's swaying somebody's feeling, touching their feelings. So it's like you have to be sensitive to them, they have to be sensitive to you, maybe whatever it is. It's just, I think, quite important for you to know, even though it's a really, really quick little window of time. And that's it for February. If you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to those. And also this material is written up on DianaGarland.com, and there are 2 other videos out. One's called the Astrological Overview for 2016, and the other one's called the Overview for 2016, and they are 2 different videos. Overview of 2016 has got some input from the guides, which is something a little bit different. That's it. I'll see you the next time.